In the past 5 years, Belarus has lost about 5% of its population through emigration, and this migration has hit the young, educated, and previously productive citizens the hardest. According to the Ukrainian Foreign Intelligence Service, ZRU, roughly 400,000 Belarusian citizens now work or live abroad, and about 250,000 of them are permanently residing in European Union countries. This number excludes natural population decline and additional people leaving temporarily. The death rate in Belarus has been nearly double the birth rate in 2024, with regions such as Vitebsk among the hardest hit. A key metric confirming this exodus. In 2023, EU member states issued 281,279 first-time residence permits to Belarusian citizens, making Belarusians the second largest group of third-country nationals receiving such permits, after Ukrainians. In 2024, the figure dropped to about 174,790 first-time permits, but the trend remains substantial. Most of these permits, around 55%, were for work, with a large share also issued for other reasons, which include international protection or humanitarian grounds. Why is this outflow happening, and who is leaving? The SZRU report, corroborated by Belarusian migration studies, suggests those departing are disproportionately from young professional cohorts, workers under roughly 44 years old, many with families, many in high-skill sectors. One of the hardest-hit industries is IT. The government is now concerned about what was once a promising future: Belarus's high-tech park, developers, and cybersecurity specialists. More than just economic output is lost when people who can code, create, innovate, teach, and heal are lost. There is also a loss of future growth potential, innovation potential, and even civil society potential. The EU-bound diaspora reduces Belarus's capability at home, even though many of them work remotely, support other economies, or flee for safety and stability elsewhere. The political catalysts are well known. Widespread demonstrations and severe state repression followed the contentious 2020 presidential election, which many analysts and opposition organizations claim was neither free nor fair. Then, in February 2022, as Russia invaded Ukraine and Belarus allowed its territory to be used as a military staging ground, fears of conscription, being implicated in conflict, or reprisals soared. Those fears intensified when rumors spread of mobilization and of young men being forced into service. These pressures catalyzed departures not as isolated or opportunistic, but as responses to political persecution, insecurity, and a collapsing sense of future at home. When so many depart, what does Belarus lose? The SZRU estimates that the annual cost of this migration, the loss of economically engaged citizens and high-skilled workers, is between $4 and $4.6 billion in lost potential added value that these individuals could have produced locally if they had stayed. These are funds that might have gone toward infrastructure, innovation, education, or health. Rather, they migrate to other economies, where Belarusian medical professionals, engineers, educators, and IT workers can operate more freely without fear of repression or conscription. It's not just an economic loss. In terms of demographics, the country's working-age population is declining as it ages. The absence puts a hardship on the industries that depend on trained workers, such as IT parks, universities, and healthcare. State attempts to compensate by importing foreign workers have so far yielded limited results. In early 2025, only about 60,000 foreigners were employed in Belarus, roughly 1.5% of its employed population. The social and psychological costs are even less visible, but perhaps more lasting. Trust in institutions erodes, emigration becomes normalized, and those who stay are often those with fewer resources or less mobility. What is uncertain, and important to emphasize, is the exact breakdown of professions among emigrants. While many analysts assert that high-skill sectors are most affected, not all data is disaggregated enough to see precisely which universities, which R&D institutions, or which branches of industry are collapsing. Also, while 400,000 Belarusians are abroad, that doesn't capture everyone who may have emigrated temporarily or who left but retains strong ties and returns periodically. The impact of natural decline, lower birth rates, higher death rates, compounds this migration issue, but the extent to which these two causes interact is still being studied. Confirmed numbers from migration services are often delayed, inconsistent, or incomplete. Some register more permits, others count permanent resident status. Definitions vary. What is, however, clear, this is no sudden spike. It's a sustained, deep shift in the fabric of Belarus over several years. One where the decisions of many are quietly reshaping what's possible, who Belarus is, who it might become. In closing, this migration crisis isn't just about people moving. It's about what a country pays when its brightest leave. Loss of innovation, weakened governance, losses in health and education, demographic shrinkage, and a growing void in civic life. Belarus, under its current regime, seems to be experiencing a slow internal collapse, not from missiles or open warfare, but through a mass loss of its own human capital. What remains may be intact in territory and state institutions, but the future, the people who build, imagine, teach, and heal, is already walking away.